All right, welcome back to the Cow Guy Close. I am Scott Shelby, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. They say it's the black and white checker that gives it away. Might be Gateway. Who knows? I might have a computer business on the side, or maybe even Chick-fil-A. I might take your order, too. How about the Fed embarking upon this hike campaign, and combined with today's uptick in the unemployment rate, how does this the Fed spin tackling inflation at the expense of maybe higher unemployment? I see this coming, right? Here to talk me down out of my worry tree is Keith Fitz-Gerald. Please welcome Keith to the show. Thank you for being on. I said over the break I'm going to throw something your way. I'm going to say something, throw your way, and then please try to make me feel better. Okay. I think that they're going to try to tackle this inflation because it's one of their mandates, right? And let's just say the next one's going to be hot. I don't know, 7.3, 7.5, whatever it is, but it's going to be over 7, I think. Well, let's just say they're successful and they bring it down to, say, I don't know, 4.5, Keith. All right, they bring it down, but at the expense of jobs. What if you see a 4.5% CPI, but also the unemployment rate goes to 4.5%? How do they spin that?
Boy, I thought this was going to be an easy question.
I mean, that could happen.
That old saying, no good deed goes unpunished.
Right.
I mean, here's the thing, Scott, right? I mean, forget about the jobs, forget everything. So let's just say, for argument's sake, they do spin it and whatever. The problem is, my breakfast is still going to cost 60% more today than it did 5 years ago, 2 years ago, even a year ago. So until they can spin it in such a way that real Americans feel relief in their wallet, I frankly don't give a rip. I want to see the Fed step up and say, we messed up. This is what we're going to do to fix it. And here's the plan. Quit jawboning about having a plan, because the risk they run, Scott, is if they don't do this, the markets are going to fix this problem, whether the Fed's ready to or not.
All right. Well, this takes me down my line of worry again. So I think that's absolutely, that could be the case, right? They're going to fix the inflation problem, but at the expense of putting people out of work, right? They're going to start to see some bad unemployment numbers come through, because how else can it be great news for the market when you're raising interest rates? And maybe they raise 50 basis points, on the off anyway. So I think that's going to be tough to grow the economy at the same time you're hiking interest rates, right? So that could be an actual worry. Lower inflation, that's a good thing, but higher unemployment, that's a bad thing. And I think because of that, Keith, and the way that the Fed is now so political, you could see them letting us run hotter and longer than you and I both could have ever imagined.
Well, I don't think that that's beyond the realm of possibility. The Fed missed the crisis in formation. The Fed's been wrong at every major decision point since it started. The Fed insisted on transitory when everybody in the world, except evidently the Fed, knew that wasn't the case. Now, if we're going to flip that around, I'm an optimist at heart. We've been through stuff like this in the past. The bond massacre of 1994 comes to mind, when Fed raised rates under very similar circumstances. In 1995, after some bloodletting, the markets took off. I think that people forget that losing is, by its very definition, a part of winning. So is there a silver lining in it? Yeah, it's hard to find. Are we going to have to hang on? Absolutely no question about it in my book. But if you get a rally like today and somebody can make it stick, then you know what? That's going to take some of the stress off.
Yeah, and it's going to be down to that, because I think that the Fed's become so political. They're going to be watching that equity market like you and I will be. And if that equity market really starts to roll over and starts to cause them a lot of pain, they're going to stop their program. I mean, like they did when Bullard came out and said the case for higher rates is no longer there. I think that that's the Mike Tyson thing about, hey, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. I think that's a worry. I think, and who cares what I think, right? I don't know. But I don't think you can cut or hike interest rates and still grow the economy, do you?
History shows that there's been select instances where you can do that, but the key is going to come down to how fast they hike it. Because the markets can digest 25 points at a time. But if you start going 50, 75, that's when you're going to have a problem. And particularly if you do it overnight. We're old enough to remember the Volcker torpedo. We're old enough to remember 1994. But a lot of folks on Wall Street today either forget their history book or they weren't even born yet when those things happened. So to me, the concern is all about speed. It's a foregone conclusion that the Fed has messed up. And what we have to do now is see that they cook the frog slowly, not all at once.
Okay, so I want to run something else by you so that the listeners or viewers can understand this, that because of the crisis we went through in 2008, the Fed went on a program of buying bonds to keep them high in price but keep the yields low, right? So the Fed's been out there artificially making yields low. And they're still in the middle of doing that. That's something we call, quantitative easing or whatever. But they're out there purchasing bonds, keeping those yields low. But at the same time, they're jawboning the market for higher interest rates and maybe there is a possibility, which probably is a possibility, they're going to be raising interest rates at the same time they're going to be buying our bonds. I mean, that's me. That's the answer I wanted, right? I mean, it's crazy.
You know what this is like, right? I mean, to break it down to really plain English, that's like taking blood out of your left arm and putting it in your right arm.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So to me, I just want to sit here and go, wait. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And so you're exactly right. Taking blood out of your left arm, putting your right arm, I'm going to use that because I haven't seen anything like this before. On one hand, they're keeping interest rates low to spur on an economy that they think needs the help. But at the same time, the other hand is going to be raising interest rate because they think the economy can handle it and inflation's out of control. Who can explain that to anybody?
Well, I tell you what, let me give it a try, right? Imagine in plain English, you've got 1,000 eggs at the grocery store. If you've got 10 buyers, the price of those eggs is going to drop. If you've got 100,000 buyers for the same egg, the price is going to rise. The Fed has given everybody a ton of money, so everybody wants eggs. What's going to happen now, and what is important for individuals who are going to be taking on a white knuckle ride anyway to understand, is that you stick to your knitting, you stick to your business, you stick to what works, you stick to making things go. That's the backbone of America, regardless of what the political boffins think inside the Beltway. And, as an investor, I think you got it. This is one of those times where you just got to grit your teeth, know that they're making stupid decisions, and that's a foregone assumption. What we've got to do is stick to our knitting, keep the roofs over our head, keep our businesses operating, because they don't understand what it takes to do that.
All right. I couldn't have said it better than you, and you're fantastic to have on the show. I want you to have a great weekend. Thank you very much. That's Keith Fitz-Gerald. He joined us today, and that was some great stuff. I really appreciate it. All right, when looking at the markets, I call them my go-tos, but the production guys call them my gouts, right? So that's gold, oil, the 10-year yield, and the U.S. dollar. Let's take a look at those things and start with gold. Gold's been really, like I said, it's been lying there because the action's been moving over to Bitcoin when it comes to the gold. 1807's last, that's up just a small amount, but look at Bitcoin. There you go. I would have expected that type of move in gold. So here we've got the Bitcoin up over 4,000 points here to 40,450. So that's on the way back. The high was 66,000. Like, put it in perspective. This one's going to be a problem, folks. $2.22 higher, 92.40, basically 92.50 for a barrel of oil. On its way to 100, it looks like. I'm not going to make that call, but it could be that going that way. That's been a lot of other people making that call. That's inflationary. The dollar got a little stronger today after being lower, 95.41, just a little bit higher today, but that's because we saw a spike in the 10-year yield. So let's see what look at that, 1.92. Look at that, folks. 2 days ago, 177, 183, 192. That's it, and a great picture for you right there. Rates on the move higher. All right. Coming up, it's Farmer Friday, right? We're going to check in with a farmer for what the situation is in his neck of the woods and how all this financial talk impacts his bottom line. You're watching the Cow Guy Close on RFD TV. We'll be right back after this.